Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at more underrated decks. Now these decks aren't good. I'd never say that, but these decks are definitely playable and aren't being played, which I think might need to change. I think these decks have a chance at having um, playability. So we're going to start first off on a deck that I tested and kind of played around with today a lot, and that is Nordic. Nordic is a interesting type of archetype. I think it's an archetype where you end on just big synchros, but the difference between this and like FA or what is it? It's Fabled is that instead of them being like hard to out, they're floaty. If this is sent to the graveyard in any way by your opponent's card, it banishes a tuner, comes back, lets you draw a card. It helps you like get advantage going, and you can play Thor, you can play Odin. They all have their own decent effects. Thor is a little bit better than Odin. It's a Dark Ruler no more, except you can respond to it. It just negates all the monsters. Well, Odin is like it makes itself unaffected by spell traps, which is okay, but not great. I think the MVP of this deck is definitely Golvig. Banish 3 cards from your hand, special summon Alvis, or like any of the combination, you just special summon enough to make yourself a level 10 synchro, which can be Odin, Thor, but none of these cards. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can only summon Aesirs. Yeah, but you can also use some of these cards after you're done going through everything to make Beelzus, which is a Dark Dragon. And the reason you're making this is because the best card in the deck is Red Rain. This banishes, if you get your level 8 or higher synchro, banish all monsters on the field, and then make your synchro a towers. So that's obviously busted. The end board is usually Golvig plus Odin plus trap card, because you do banish 3 cards from field in hand to activate Golvig. But you usually do have a trap card left. Either it's a rivalry, which is a good floodgate, one type of each monster. So you go Golvig plus Odin, and you just send Golvig if you have the rivalry, or you have to or you get like or you have D barrier. If you have trap trick, you can get Red Rain. Torrential is also good. All the high impact trap cards. This deck can play Extrav. It's good for one for one to get Verg, and I think it's a decent trap deck, and I think it has some potential to I think it has potential to, hey, maybe even do like fine in a tournament. Next, for the underrated decks, this deck is less underrated, but it's more just kind of awful. Here you are looking at Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick is a stun deck, more a stall deck to be honest. Plays Festival, plays the Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief to rank up through. Once you get the Mischief out, you can go like Shot, and then you can combo through to end on Utopic Future. It's pretty okay. I think it's a little cope, but I have made it work before. This deck is pretty good because Scare is a very good card. It's just Book of Eclipse, and I think its Parallel Exceed utilities are good because any Link monster, this Link monster comes straight down, so you just like it's one of the only decks in the game with a good Link one. So Parallel Exceed works really well with it. You can play a lot of draw spells. You can play Allure. I don't recommend Xrav, but you can play it if you want. You can play Shadebreak to help with the rank force, and overall, this deck does a decent amount. It's a good deck. Uh, it's a fine deck. You can play it if you want. And finally, we have a deck that is more comparable to something that could do okay in a tournament. And we got Penguin. Penguin is pretty interesting. It is a synchro deck that can go into water monsters like Brave and Crocodragon. It does pretty well with consistency. You can play Floodgates, Crackdown, Goes and Match. And yeah, targeting one face up monster, take control of it. This isn't a Floodgate. This is just a Snatch Deal. But still, it's pretty decent. You can play Dim Barrier. It's another decent trap deck. You draw a lot. You can go for Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi, which makes all of your non-effect monsters or all your non-effect monsters are unaffected. But more importantly, if you have a face down and they, I think, summon a monster, special summons an effect monster, you can draw two, which is very good. I like having Pot of Greed access in my decks. I'd consider maybe cutting some of the trap cards like the Warning and the Dim Barrier for hand traps. Make you know what? Um, there we go. This is better. This makes the flawless perfection of the Tenyi a lot better. You have the crackdown. You still have the you have floodgate. You have a pretty decent trap card that lets you go into Sheridan with Brave. This Link 4, Morenza's Bell Reef, is literally just Heat Soul, and it gives you more access to hand traps. You know what? You could also honestly, I don't think I agree with it, but you could cut the crackdown for Ghost Ogres. But yeah, I think this is it. I think this deck is pretty good. It sets up two bounces, um, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think that any of these decks can see pretty decent play, and I will see you next time. Bye.